Okay, I've single crocheted all the way around, and before I join the round, I need to make sure that I do my last double crochet here. So don't forget that very last one. Don't just go and join right away, because then you're going to have that one spot that isn't connected. So do that very last double crochet, and then you're going to join with a slip stitch in that very first single crochet. Then we're ready for our very last round. Okay, so now we're on our very last round, and what we're going to start with is a chain 3, and that's going to count as a double crochet. So we're not going to double crochet in that same stitch, we're going to move on to our next stitch. And we're basically just going to double crochet in every single stitch that we come to. So it's kind of like a very ending border round, but we're getting some height on it with the double crochet. The only difference is when we get to our corner stitch, over here, we're going to do a treble crochet in that middle stitch. So you'll see that the instructions tell you to treble crochet in the middle of the SC3 corner. So that means that second single crochet of our corner, we're actually going to treble crochet. And what that's going to do is give us a more pointy corner. So instead of just making a rounded corner with double crochets, we're going to put a treble in there, and I'll show you what it's going to do right now. So this is my first of 3. Now I'm going to treble crochet in my next stitch, which is the very corner stitch, and double crochet in the one after. And then what you get is more of a pointy corner, so it's more of a 90-degree angle than just a rounded corner. So I'm going to keep on double crocheting in every stitch around and doing that treble in the corner stitch until I get all the way back around. Okay, I've finished off my round. I've done all double crochets around the entire motif, and now I'm going to go ahead and fasten off and get ready to weave in my ends. So I'm going to join my round at the top of my chain 3 that I started my round with a slip stitch. And then as I like to fasten off, I always do a chain and pull it long, and then cut that chain. And then I just pull out the leftover and pull that one tight. Okay, grab my yarn needle. I'm going to go ahead and thread this end that I just cut off and start weaving in my ends. So usually I'll try to get that fasten off kind of flat, so I'm going to start weaving that way. I just kind of go right through my first or next stitch that I come to pull it down. And then I'm going to work through the wrong side of my project and start weaving this yarn back and forth. And the more times that I can weave it back and forth, the more secure it's going to be. If I were to just run a straight line, it's going to come undone after a while. So getting it going back and forth is really going to secure it down. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to keep each color within the colors that are there. So I'm only going to put the gray where the gray is, so that I have less chance of it showing through the front, and I don't want to see a big gray line through my purple. So I just weave through each stitch as best I can, try to stay in the middle or along the back side, and zigzag as much as possible. When I have like a spot where there's a gap, I try to follow that and not go right across the gap so you don't see any yarn right there where the hole is. And then I'm just going to do that for every color. So you can see I have quite a few ends to weave in, but oops, I just lost my end. But I'm going to keep weaving in, and then we will have our finished project in just a second. And I'll give you some tips on how to join these up for the pattern that I have attached. Alright, I have got all of the ends weaved in. See, I have none showing, can't find my double knots, got those all hidden. if you're going to be making the pattern that I have listed below, there's a couple points where it talks about putting the square into a triangle for the bottom of the bag. So that's basically what this is going to look like. You're just going to put it on in half and sew to the points for the triangle. And then for the handle, you're just going to match up the holes. So you fold over this top corner and match up the holes, and your handle will go right on the inside of there, and you can just back stitch that to sew it down. You can do joins with just about anything. Slip stitch join or single crochet join are going to be the sturdiest, so you just put your right sides together and sew them up. You can check out my tutorials if you need help with those joining methods. But this is going to be your three-dimensional granny square. If you have any questions, leave them below, and thank you for watching.